Hey guys, and welcome back. So what we're going to be doing in this video is just changing a few things to kind of optimize this code to make it a little bit better, because I've recently found out, because of you guys continually commenting this, and I apologize I didn't fix this sooner, is that I should really be using a different module for doing the speaking for the computer. So rather than using Google text-to-speech, which is kind of slow and requires the internet, there's actually a module called PyTTSX3 that works really well and that I've actually tested out, and we're going to switch to right now. It's not going to take us very long. Before I continue though, I just want to fix a few errors that you guys pointed out to me in the last video. So the first one is I need to add an ND to this day extensions list because, you know, if we have like second, we need to add that, which I forgot about. I also need to add the month October because apparently I forgot that. So let's add that in here, get those errors fixed up. And now what I want to do is actually change to PyTTSX3 for doing the speaking from the computer. So to do that, we're going to start by installing it. So pip install PyTTSX3, which I believe just means like version 3 of Py text to speech. We'll hit enter, install that. I already have it installed. Now what I'm going to do is actually unimport or just get rid of these imports for play sound and Google text to speech, and instead import PyTTSX3. So that means inside of speak now, this function, we need to change this. And you guys are going to see how much easier this is to actually speak something out. It's not necessarily less code, it's just like way simpler, the process. We're going to create a variable called engine, and that's going to be equal to PyTTSX3.init. This is just starting PyTTS, getting it ready to go, and you need to do this every time you're about to speak something new, which is what I found out. Next, what we're going to do is engine.say. And here we're just going to say the text, and let me make sure that that's the correct one, but I think it is. And then the last thing we need to do here is do engine dot, and I believe this one is run and wait, like that. So this will run and wait for this text to finish being spoke until we move on to the next part of our program. So this is just way easier, and that's what we're going to use. We don't need to save anything to a file now, so I can actually get rid of this voice MP3 file. Okay, wonderful. So now that we've done that, let's actually just show you how this works by just speaking, you know, like, hello, Tim, how are you? And let's see what this sounds like.
Hello, Tim, how are you?
There you go. So pretty fast, but that's fine. We can deal with that. And I think there's probably a way to slow it down, but I mean, you guys can look up the documentation if you want to do that. Okay, so now that we've done that, what we're actually going to do is modify this getEvents function so that we can actually pass it a date, one that we're going to get from this getDate function that we've been working on so hard for the past 2 videos, and it will give us the list of events that occur on that date. Now that's going to be great because what we can do then is we can, you know, speak to the computer, we can figure out what day we're talking about, and if we're asking about, you know, do we have an event on this day, or are we busy, do we have plans, we can call this getEvents function, give it the date we're talking about, and then it'll figure out what we have on that day. Now this is a little bit tricky, but what I'm going to do is just start by replacing n with date up there. We're going to get rid of a few things like these first 3 lines. And we're also going to get rid of this max results parameter inside of events results service, whatever this all is. Now we're going to change this quite a bit. The first thing that we need to do is you need to determine how this date is coming in and put it in the correct format so that we can actually pass it to this Google Calendar API, like I guess query call, whatever it is, to get, I mean, like the correct format. So essentially you need to send in a date that's in like some UTC time format. And what we've done here is just gotten the date in terms of like, you know, the day, the year, and the month. So we need to turn this into like a UTC timestamp, which is kind of weird, but I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I'm going to be quite honest. I don't know like exactly what a lot of these lines do. I was just messing around, and I mean, I know what the end result is, but I don't work with the date time module very much, so I can't really explain all of this. But what we're going to do is start by actually combining this date time. So we're going to do date equals date time dot combine, and then we're going to do the day and date time. This isn't day, sorry, this is date. Yeah, so we're going to do date time dot min, or what is it? Sorry, dot date time dot min dot time. Now this reminds me, I actually need to change this parameter to day and change this to day. That's what I have in my other codes. We'll stay consistent. Now I'm actually going to copy this for date, and I'm going to make a new variable called end_date. And what I'm going to do here is instead of doing min time, I'm going to do max time. So essentially what I need to do is I need to get 2 times. I need to get or 2 date time objects. One that has the beginning of the day. So let's say we're talking about Tuesday. I need Tuesday at like, I guess, what is it? Midnight. Like Tuesday at, as soon as it hits Tuesday, I need that time. So the minimum time on Tuesday. And then I need the maximum time on Tuesday, so like 11:59 p.m. So what I can do is search through the events in my Google Calendar, so I only find the ones that occur in between those 2 times. So that's why I'm doing this end date and this date. All right, so now that I have that, this reminds me I need to actually go up here and import one more module. This is built into Python, but it's called PyTZ, I believe is the name of it. And this is going to allow us to actually get our current UTC time zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say UTC equals PyTZ.UTC, which I believe just gives our current UTC time zone. And that's going to be different depending on wherever you live. And then what I'm going to do is say date equals date.asTimeZone UTC. And I'm going to do the same thing for end_date equals end_date.asTimeZone, like that, and then UTC. Now what this is going to do is just turn this into some UTC formatted date string, which we actually need to pass into here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change this time min parameter to be date, because that's the one with the minimum time. We're going to add one more parameter, which is time max, which is going to be equal to end_date, like that. Okay, so now that we have that, this should actually work if we pass it a day and we pass it the service to give us all of the events that we have on that specific day. So we're going to test this out to start. And yeah, let's test it out. So we're going to get a date from a string. So we're going to select text equals get_audio. And then what we're going to do is just pass this to get events. So we're going to say get_events. And we're going to do get_date text, and then pass it text. Or not text, sorry, what am I saying? We need to pass it service, so we also need to get service. So we'll say service equals get or authenticate to Google, like that. And then we'll pass it this service. Okay, wonderful. So now that we have that, let's run this and see if this works properly. So I'll say like, what do I have on Wednesday or something, and see if I have any events then. What do I have on Wednesday? And we get an error. What is this? Let's see here. We get an issue with this. Let me have a quick look and I'll be right back. Okay, so I just remembered I actually forgot one thing that I need to add here. So for when I'm actually passing these dates, I need to actually add something to them that is this weird thing. It's is_o format. We did it in the last video, but I just forgot about it. So is_o format, which just formats them properly. I don't really know exactly how all this formatting is supposed to work. It's kind of weird because, you know, with times, you have different time zones and all of that. But now if we run this, we should hopefully get something that actually works. All right, so I've just signed into my other Google account now, and I'm going to test this out and show you how this works. So what I'm going to do is run the program. Do I have anything on Thursday? And what you can see is it actually pops up my entire schedule for Thursday here, which is correct. It means I have a lecture, a lab, a tutorial, and a DGD. Now, for those of you unaware of what this means, I'm in school right now, so these are like my course codes and the times that they happen at. What we're going to do in the next video is actually make this speak it out to us rather than just showing us what we have. But I mean, I think this is pretty cool so far that we can actually just speak into the computer, you know, ask it like, what do I have on a specific day? And it can actually fetch that information for us. Now, a quick thing here that I want to do is just inside of this function, I noticed that sometimes we get an error if, you know, there's no date that it finds. So what we want to do is just do a quick if statement here before this last return that says if month equals -1, which means essentially we haven't figured out a month, then what we need to do is, or if month equals -1 or day equals -1, we're just going to return none. So we'll return none. I don't know why this is lagging. All right, so subline text was lagging there, so I had to restart. But anyways, we're just going to return none here, which essentially is saying, you know, if we've gone through this and we didn't find a date, so we didn't find a month, we didn't find a day, return none rather than running this, because this code will actually return an error to us as it tries to create a date with a negative month, right? Because month starts at -1. So anyways, that has been it for this video in terms of actually getting, the events that we have on a specific day simply by speaking to the computer. In the next one, we're going to modify this function so it actually speaks back to us and tells us, you have an event at 3 p.m. or whatever it is. And yeah, so if you guys have any ideas, as always, leave them in the comments down below, and I will see you guys in the next video.